The rain had just stopped outside the private hospital, leaving the ground wet and shiny like a mirror. People walked carefully, trying not to slip, holding umbrellas even though the sky had cleared. Cars moved slowly, their tires making soft sounds on the road. The building stood tall and quiet, white walls glowing under soft lights. It was a place where rich people came looking for hope when money was no longer enough. A man in an expensive coat stepped out of the glass doors. His shoulders were stiff, his face tired. He looked like someone who had not slept well in a long time. He had just come from another meeting with doctors. Another long talk filled with big words, careful voices, and the same ending. No change, no promise. Just more time, more waiting. Inside one of the rooms upstairs, his wife lay on a hospital bed. Her eyes were open, staring at the ceiling, as they often were. Years ago, she had been full of life. She laughed loudly, walked fast, and never liked to sit still. Then came the accident. One moment changed everything. Since that day, her legs no longer obeyed her. Wheelchairs, tests, treatments, nothing brought back what was lost. The man paused near the steps, breathing deeply. He was known everywhere as a powerful company owner, a man who could make deals with a single call. People respected him. Some feared him. But at that moment, he felt small, weak. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone, but didn't check it. He just held it, as if it could hold him together. Near the hospital gate, a small group of people stood quietly. Some were selling tea. Some were waiting for rides. And sitting on the edge of the sidewalk was a boy, no older than 12 or 13. His clothes were old and too big. His shoes were worn, one lace missing. His hair was messy, and his face showed signs of long nights spent outdoors. Still, his eyes were clear, sharp. Watching Dot as the man walked past, the boy stood up. He hesitated for a second, then took a few steps forward. His voice was soft but steady. "Sir," the boy said. The man stopped, annoyed. He didn't turn around. "I can make your wife walk again." The words hung in the air. People nearby went quiet. The man slowly turned his head, disbelief written across his face. He looked at the boy from head to toe, then laughed once short and bitter. "Go away," he said. "I don't have time for games." The boy did not move. He did not lower his eyes either. "I am not playing," the boy said. "I know she feels pain in her left hip at night, and her right hand shakes when she is tired." The man froze. No one outside the family knew that. Even most doctors didn't. His chest tightened. Anger rushed in first. "Who told you that?" he demanded. "No one," the boy replied. "She talks in her sleep sometimes. I heard her once when the window was open." That made no sense. The room was on the 4th floor. The man waved his hand sharply. 2 guards nearby began to move closer. "Leave now," the man said, "before you get yourself into trouble." The boy swallowed. His hand shook slightly, but his voice did not. "I only want 5 minutes," he said. "If I'm lying, you never have to see me again." People were watching now. Phones came out. The man hated scenes. He looked toward the hospital doors, then back at the boy. Something about the boy's calm made it hard to walk away. 5 minutes, the man said coldly. "That's all." Inside the hospital lobby, everything smelled clean and sharp. The boy walked carefully, as if afraid to touch anything. His eyes moved around, taking it all in. The guards stayed close. The man said nothing as they rode the elevator up. When the doors opened, the hallway was quiet. Machines hummed softly. The man stopped outside a room and placed his hand on the door handle. For a moment, he hesitated. Then he opened it. His wife turned her head slowly. Her face looked pale but kind. She saw the boy and frowned slightly. "Who is this?" she asked. The man sighed. "Someone who claims he can help." The boy stepped forward carefully. "Hello, ma'am," he said politely. "I won't hurt you. I promise." She studied him for a long moment. She had seen many doctors, many hopeful faces that later looked away. This boy was different. He didn't look afraid of her condition. "What do you want to do?" she asked. "Just talk," the boy said. "For now." The man crossed his arms, ready to end this if it went too far. The boy asked simple questions. When did the pain start? What movements felt easier? What felt impossible? He listened carefully, nodding, not interrupting. He did not touch her. He did not promise anything yet. After a few minutes, a nurse knocked on the door. "Sir, visiting hours. We're done," the man said quickly. As they walked back into the hallway, the boy turned once more. "Tomorrow," he said. "If you allow me, I can show you something." The man didn't answer. Back downstairs, the guards escorted the boy out. The rain had started again. The boy sat back on the sidewalk, pulling his thin jacket tighter around himself. That night, the man sat beside his wife's bed. She was quiet for a long time. "He wasn't like the others," she said softly. The man looked at her, surprised. For the first time, she continued. "Someone spoke to me like I wasn't broken." The man said nothing. Outside, rain tapped against the window, and for the first time in years, doubt and hope rested in the same room. Morning came slowly. The rain from the night before had washed the streets clean, leaving the air cool and fresh. Sunlight slipped through the tall windows of the hospital, touching the floor in long, quiet lines. Nurses moved from room to room, speaking softly, doing what they always did. The man arrived early. He had barely slept. The boy's words kept repeating in his mind, unwanted yet impossible to ignore. He told himself it was foolish to even think about it. He had trusted doctors with degrees on their walls, machines that cost more than houses, treatments flown in from other countries. What could a homeless boy possibly offer? And yet, something had felt different. Upstairs, his wife was awake. She looked more alert than usual. When he entered the room, she smiled faintly. "You came early," she said. "I couldn't sleep," he replied. She watched his face carefully. "You're still thinking about him, aren't you?" He didn't answer right away. He pulled a chair closer and sat beside her bed. "I don't want you getting hurt again," he said quietly. "Every time someone gives hope, and it fails, it takes something from you." She nodded. "I know. But yesterday, for a few minutes, I felt seen. Not examined, not tested, just heard." He looked away. That was exactly what scared him. Later that morning, as promised, the boy appeared near the hospital gate. He looked tired. His eyes were a little red, and his hands were cold. He had slept under the open sky, using an old piece of cardboard as a mat. When he saw the man approach, he stood up quickly. "I came back," the boy said. "I said I would." The man studied him closely. "Why are you really doing this?" he asked. "What do you want?" The boy hesitated. "I want nothing," he said. "If she walks again, that is enough." The man didn't believe that. No one ever wanted nothing. Still, he motioned for the guards to step back. "Come," he said. "But understand this one wrong move, and this ends." Inside the hospital, the boy walked more confidently this time. He went straight to the room as if he already knew the way. The wife greeted him with a gentle smile. "You came," she said. "Yes," the boy replied. "Thank you for trusting me." The man remained standing, arms crossed, watching every step. The boy sat on a chair near the bed, not too close. He took a deep breath. "My mother used to help people like you," he said. "Not in hospitals. At home. People who had pain, who could not move well. She believed the body remembers how to heal, if guided slowly." The man scoffed softly. "And where is your mother now?" The boy lowered his eyes. "She is gone." Silence filled the room. The wife spoke gently. "What do you want to try?" "Nothing big," the boy said. "Just listening first. And small movements." He asked her to close her eyes and describe what she felt when she tried to move her legs. Not what she thought, but what she felt. At first, she struggled to explain. Doctors had always told her what she should feel. No one had asked her to describe it herself. "There's fear," she finally said. "Like my body doesn't trust me anymore." The boy nodded. "Then we start there." He placed his hand a few inches above her knee, not touching. "Tell me if this makes you uncomfortable." She shook her head. "It's fine." He guided her breathing. Slow, steady. The room felt calmer, quieter, as if time had slowed down. Nothing happened at first. The man shifted his weight, impatience rising. Then the wife frowned slightly. "I feel warmth," she said. "Is that normal?" The boy smiled faintly. "Yes." Minutes passed. No sudden miracle. No dramatic moment. Just quiet focus. When it was over, the boy stepped back. "That's all for today." "That's it?" the man asked sharply. "For now," the boy replied. Healing doesn't like being rushed. Later that afternoon, a doctor entered the room. His expression was tight. "I was told you allowed an outsider to interfere with treatment," he said. The man stood. "We were just talking." The doctor didn't look convinced. "Be careful," he warned. "False hope can be dangerous." After he left, the wife spoke softly. "Did you feel that?" "Feel what?" the man asked. "For a moment," she said, "I felt connected to my legs again. Even if nothing changes, that matters." That evening, the boy sat outside the hospital again, hugging his knees to keep warm. A nurse quietly handed him a cup of tea when no one was watching. "Be careful," she whispered. "People like him don't like being challenged." The boy nodded. "I know." From a window above, the man watched the boy sitting alone in the dark. For the first time, he wondered how many nights the boy had survived like this. Hope was beginning to feel dangerous, but ignoring it felt worse. The third day began quietly, but there was tension in the air. The man felt it the moment he stepped into the hospital. People greeted him as usual, with polite smiles and careful words, but he noticed the way some of them looked past him, whispering when they thought he could not hear. News traveled fast in places like this. A homeless boy, unapproved methods, a powerful man taking strange risks. He did not care. Not today. Upstairs, his wife was already awake. She looked nervous, but there was a small light in her eyes that had not been there before. When he sat beside her, she reached for his hand. "I was thinking all night," she said. "About my legs." "That doesn't sound relaxing," he replied softly. She gave a weak smile. "I realized something. I stopped believing they were part of me. I treated them like strangers. Yesterday, for the first time in years, I felt like they were listening." He did not know what to say. He squeezed her hand instead. The boy arrived later than usual. When he entered the room, it was clear something was wrong. His face looked pale, and there was a faint bruise near his temple, half hidden by his hair. "What happened to you?" the wife asked gently. The boy shrugged. "Nothing important." The man noticed the boy's slight limp as he walked. Anger flashed in his chest, sharp and sudden. "Did someone hurt you?" he asked. The boy shook his head quickly. "Please, let's just work today." Reluctantly, the man said nothing more. The boy asked for the curtains to be closed halfway, letting in soft light. The machines were turned down. The room felt less like a hospital and more like a quiet living space. "Today," the boy said, "we listen more carefully." He asked the wife to sit up straighter with help from the man. Her movements were slow and careful. Every small shift felt heavy, like lifting a weight that had been there too long. "Close your eyes," the boy said. "Breathe. Don't try to move yet." She did as he asked. Minutes passed. The man watched the clock, his heart beating faster than it should. Doubt crept in. Fear followed. Then the boy spoke again. "Think of the floor. Not your legs. Just the floor." The wife frowned slightly. "The floor?" "Yes. Imagine your feet resting there. No effort." Her breathing changed, slower, deeper. "I feel pressure," she whispered. "Like something is there." The boy nodded. "Good. Now, don't fight it." The man leaned forward, barely breathing. "Try," the boy said quietly, "to move just one toe. Only if it feels right." Nothing happened. The wife's face tightened. Disappointment flickered across her features. "It's okay," the boy said quickly. "Even noticing nothing is noticing something." Then, suddenly, her eyes widened. I think it moved," she said. The man froze. "What?" "My left foot," she whispered. "Just a little." The boy did not celebrate. He only nodded, calm but focused. "Again," he said. Slow. Her foot did not move again. But the moment had already changed something. The room felt different, charged with quiet disbelief. Tears rolled down the man's face before he realized they were there. He turned away quickly, ashamed of his weakness. Later that day, the door burst open without warning. 2 doctors entered, followed by a hospital administrator. Their expressions were hard. "This has gone too far," one doctor said. "You are risking serious harm." The man stood. "You said there was nothing more you could do." "That doesn't mean this is safe," the administrator replied. "If this continues, we will have to take action." The wife spoke up, her voice shaking but firm. "I decide what happens to my body." Silence followed. After they left, the man sank into the chair, exhausted. "They will stop us," he said. The boy looked at the floor. "Then we don't stay here." "What do you mean?" the man asked. The boy hesitated. "Hospitals are full of rules. Fear lives there too. Healing needs space." That night, the man made a decision he never thought he would. He arranged for his wife to be discharged against advice. Papers were signed. Warnings were given. He ignored them all. At home, the house felt strange. It had been quiet for so long. Nurses set up equipment. The boy stood awkwardly in the doorway, unsure if he belonged. "You can stay," the man said. The boy looked up, surprised. "I don't know how long," the man added. "But for now." That evening, as the boy ate a warm meal for the first time in days, he spoke quietly. "People think healing is about fixing," he said. "But sometimes it's about remembering." The man listened. Hope was no longer a stranger. It was dangerous, and it was finally real. The house felt different in the early morning. Sunlight moved slowly across the walls, touching framed photos that had not been looked at in years. The wife lay awake in her bed, listening to the quiet sounds of the home. No machines beeped here. No footsteps echoed in long hallways. For the first time since the accident, she felt like a person again, not a patient. The man had not slept much. He sat at the kitchen table, staring at a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. His phone buzzed again and again. Messages from board members. Missed calls from doctors. Warnings wrapped in polite words. He ignored them all. In the guest room down the hall, the boy sat on the edge of the bed, rubbing his hands together. He had barely slept either. The mattress felt too soft. The silence felt too loud. He was used to noise, to danger, to being alert at all times. Safety was new, and it made him uneasy. When the man entered the room, the boy looked up quickly. "Did I do something wrong?" the boy asked. "No," the man said. "But things are getting complicated." The boy nodded. "They always do when hope shows up." That morning, They worked slowly. No rush. The wife sat upright, supported by pillows. The boy guided her breathing, reminding her to stay calm, to listen to her body instead of forcing it. The man stayed close, ready to help, afraid to blink. "I feel tired today," the wife admitted. "That's okay," the boy said. "Tired means your body is trying." They stopped often. The boy never pushed. When she needed rest, he allowed it without question. That patience surprised the man more than anything else. Later that afternoon, a black car pulled into the driveway. Two men stepped out, both wearing meat suits and serious expressions. The man's chest tightened. He knew who they were before they even rang the bell. "They're here," he said quietly. The wife looked worried. "About the hospital?" "Yes." The boy stood slowly. "I should leave." "No," the man said firmly. "You won't." The doorbell rang. The conversation was tense. Words like liability, responsibility, and reputation were thrown around like weapons. The men spoke calmly, but their message was clear. If this continued, there would be consequences. "We are concerned about the boy," one of them said. "And about your wife." The man looked at them coldly. "You were concerned when you said nothing more could be done?" Silence. After they left, the house felt heavy. The boy stared at the floor. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," he said. "You didn't," the man replied. "You exposed it." That night, the wife cried quietly after everyone else had gone to bed. The man heard her and came to sit beside her. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Not of failing, of losing this feeling." He held her hand. "Whatever happens, we face it together." The next day, the boy did not come down for breakfast. At first, the man thought he was sleeping. Then panic set in. He searched the guest room, empty, the bed neatly made, the window slightly open. "He's gone," the man said. The wife felt her chest tighten. Why would he leave? The man found a folded piece of paper on the desk. The writing was careful but uneven. "I am sorry. They will not stop. If I stay, you will lose more than you gain. You already gave me more than anyone ever has. Please believe in what you felt. That matters more than me being here." The man crushed the paper in his fist. For 2 days, the house felt empty again. The exercises stopped. The silence returned. The wife tried to move on her own, but fear crept back in without the boy's calm voice. "I feel like I'm losing it," she whispered one night. The man felt helpless. He searched the city. He asked people quietly. He visited places he had never been before. Streets where his name meant nothing. On the third night, he found the boy sitting under a bridge, wrapped in a thin blanket. Shivering. "You shouldn't be here," the man said. The boy looked up, surprised. "You shouldn't be either. You don't get to decide that," the man replied. "Come home?" The boy shook his head. "They will hurt you." "They already tried," the man said, and failed. The boy's eyes filled with tears he had been holding back for years. Back at the house, the wife smiled when she saw him. "I knew you'd come back," she said. The boy nodded. "I was afraid." "So was I," she replied. "But fear doesn't get to choose for us anymore." That night, as the boy slept safely in the guest room again, the man sat alone in the living room, staring at the dark window. He understood something now. This was no longer about walking. It was about standing up. The morning felt quiet in a new way. Not heavy, not tense. Just still. The kind of stillness that comes before something important. The wife sat by the window, wrapped in a light blanket, watching the garden outside. The boy stood a few steps away, rubbing his hands together like he always did when he was nervous. "You don't have to do anything today," the man said. "We can stop if you want." The wife shook her head slowly. "No, I want to try." The boy looked at her carefully. "Only what feels right," he said. Nothing more. They moved to the open space in the living room. Sunlight came in through the wide windows, warming the floor. The man placed a sturdy chair nearby, just in case. His heart was beating fast, louder than he liked. The boy knelt in front of the wife, keeping his distance. "Close your eyes," he said softly. "Remember the feeling from before. Not the movement, just the feeling." She breathed in, then out. Her face was calm, but her hands trembled slightly. "I'm scared," she admitted. "That's okay," the boy said. "Courage doesn't mean no fear. It means you don't let fear decide." The man swallowed hard. Those words stayed with him. They started slowly. Small shifts of weight, gentle movements, long pauses. The boy watched closely, adjusting, guiding, never rushing. Minutes passed, then more. "I feel it again," the wife whispered. "The connection." The boy nodded. "Good. Hold on to that." The man stepped closer, ready to help. "Put your hands on the chair," the boy said. "Only for balance." She did. Her arms shook as she leaned forward. "Stop if it hurts," the boy reminded her. She nodded out for a moment. Nothing happened. The man felt his chest tighten. He remembered every failed attempt before this, every promise that ended in silence. Then she pressed her feet into the floor. "I'm standing," she said, her voice barely above a breath. The man froze. The boy stayed calm. "Yes, you are." Her legs trembled, but they held. Tears streamed down her face. "I'm standing," she repeated, louder now. The man covered his mouth with his hand. His knees felt weak. "Sit down," the boy said gently. "That's enough for today." She did, laughing and crying at the same time. It was not perfect. It was not strong, but it was real. The days that followed were careful and slow. No big celebrations. No sudden miracles. Just a steady progress. One step, then another. Some days were harder than others. Some days felt like going backward. But they never stopped believing. Word spread quietly. Not through the news. Through whispers. Through changed expressions. The doctors returned, more curious than angry this time. They watched, asked questions, took notes. No one argued anymore. One afternoon, as the wife practiced standing again, she reached for the boy's hand. "Thank you," she said. He looked down, embarrassed. "I didn't do it alone." "No," she replied. "But you reminded me who I was." The man watched them, something breaking open inside him. Weeks later, the wife took her first step without help. It was small, shaky, but it was hers. The man cried openly then. He did not care who saw. That evening, as the house grew quiet, the man sat with the boy at the kitchen table. "What happens to you now?" The man asked. The boy shrugged. "I don't know." "You do now," the man said. "You stay. You learn. You live." The boy looked up, unsure. "Why?" "Because you matter," the man replied. "And because this family wouldn't exist without you." The boy's eyes filled with tears he did not wipe away. Months later, the wife walked into the garden on her own. Slowly, carefully, but proudly. The man stood beside her, holding her hand. Nearby, the boy watched, smiling softly. Life did not become perfect, but it became full. And sometimes that is the real miracle.